Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome if you're new. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, and let's get right into today's video. So for today's video, this is going to be the second part to my last video. I did unbox this first one here, which was a summer nail art box, and I did end up creating this cute little pearl 3D design. It was so cute. So if you want to watch it, I'll link it in the cards. But for today's video, we're gonna go ahead and start to unbox the second one. This box is a lot bigger, so I'm super excited to see what's inside of it. So this box is their 1-year anniversary box. So I feel like there's not really going to be a theme of this box, how the last one was a summer nail art box. So you got like a lot of summer themed items. If you have seen that video, you know the theme of the box, but if you haven't, I'm just not gonna say it, so you can go check it out for yourself. But yeah, I feel like there's not really going to be a theme. I feel like it's just gonna be a lot of different nail art just to celebrate the longevity of their brand. So yeah, we're gonna go through everything that's in here very quickly. I don't want to make the unboxing super long because we do have a longer video for today, which I cannot wait for you guys to see how the nails turn out and what I'm going to be doing. So yeah, let's just go ahead and unbox everything. I love that you get a lot of different items. Like, we start off with some rhinestone glue, and as you can see, like just from a quick glance, we have some gel polishes, some liner gels, some charms, foils, a practice finger, some charms, just a lot of different items. I love that about these boxes. However, in my last video, I did say I wasn't really a big fan of them just because I feel like I get a lot of repeat items, and I feel like that's more of my opinion because I'm not really like drawn to these products like that much how I am with other items. And I don't know if this is going to make sense, but I feel like the items in these boxes give me the vibe of like the Korean trend nails, how it's like the stones and like the bubble nail. Like, I don't really know how that sounds, but I feel like that's why. And my style is more of like ombres, like long like nail art, just like pink and charms. And if you like look at those two together, they just don't really match. I mean, of course I can take all of these items and use them in separate nail designs, but I don't know, there's just something about this box that I don't really love about it. But I do like them. I love the variety of products, and I'm just going to stop trying to explain it because I feel like I'm making no sense at all, but I know what I mean, like in my head, like I know exactly what I'm talking about. But yeah, they do come with a lot of different products. They have a lot of charms. These here I've already got like 3 times already from their boxes. I do love these sets of glitters like this though. I feel like they are so perfect if you want to do like a design using different colored glitters, but you want them to like match and be very cohesive. Also, I feel like those glitters will look so nice on a fall set. I have been seeing a lot of people do fall and Halloween nails, so I cannot wait to get into those types of designs. Next we have some little rhinestones and some jewelry pieces. I do love how long this little I don't even know what you would call this, like bling rope. I don't even know what you would call it, but I really love how long it was. And then also, I think the quality of all of the products are very good quality. Like, nothing feels super cheap. Besides this little practice finger here though, this is just not it. I feel like you're not going to be able to practice on this, but I don't want to make it seem like I'm just like saying bad things about this box, because like I said, I do like it. I don't love it, but I do like it. There is a difference. And I'm just giving you guys my honest opinions. I know you guys can appreciate it. But yeah, other than that little practice finger, I feel like everything else is super good quality. It's super nice. And if this is your vibe, I feel like you will love these boxes. And they do have different boxes, different themed boxes as well. And you can go on the website to check them out. I also have a discount code that you guys can use. I'm not sure if you can use the code with these boxes like this, or like the monthly or bi-monthly subscription boxes, but you can use my code just adding items to your cart and purchasing items like that. And if you do decide to use my code, you do get a total of 15% off your entire order. And just to save you guys some time, I did go ahead and look on the website. These boxes are $69.99. So if you are interested, I will have the link down below along with my discount codes for you guys to check out. And I'm just gonna let you guys go ahead and finish out watching this unboxing, and then we'll get right into my nails. So that concludes the unboxing part, and this here is just an overview of everything I got in the box. And again, this is the first year anniversary box from Colorful July. Everything will be linked down below if you guys want to check it out. But the part I'm most excited for is my nails. I just want to say I will have everything sped up just because this was a very long process. I just kind of want to keep the pace, I want to keep the pace moving. So we're starting off simple, and I'm just going to be picking out my nail sizes, and I'm using the 3XL tips from Crafts by 9. They're always linked down below in my frequently used products. And then of course we are going to apply them. I'm using my Kiara Sky Stick It Nail Glue. And then after all the nails are applied, I am going to cut them down just a little bit. For my thumb, I do cut it down a little bit shorter than the rest of them, but for the other 4 nails, I just go a little bit past the number and just clip off the tip. So for the start of my design, I know you guys have saw the thumbnail, you saw the title, and that is probably why you click on this video if you are not a day 1 subscriber. But yeah, I'm going to be doing some aquarium nails, and I decided I wanted to use these foils for the background of my nails, because when I did a video where I just tried it on a practice finger, just doing like 1 nail. I ended up attempting 3 tries, but I didn't add anything to the background in that video, and it was just really plain. So I felt like I needed something more, so I'm gonna add these on the tips of my nails. You saw me just add on my makartt foil glue, which works so good. Like, just watch when I peel this up. The transfer is gonna be almost perfect. Like, if you don't have this glue, I honestly recommend you guys try it. It works so good for me. I just apply a very thin layer and then cure for about 15 to 20 seconds, or you can cure for the entire 30 seconds. I feel like no matter how much you cure it, just as long as it have that tacky layer, this foil glue will still transfer and work good. So once I did my thumb, I'm gonna go ahead and apply the foil glue to the rest of my nails. I also went ahead and laid out the other foils I'm gonna be using because I didn't stick to just one. I do believe this is 3 different foils. One is an ombre with pink and purple, and I know the other 2 looks very similar, but I think one of them doesn't have purple in it as much, and I wanted the overall theme to be purple, so I just stuck with all of the foils that kind of give me that nice cotton candy vibe. I didn't go for any yellows or greens and things like that, and I'm just going to be applying the foils to my nails. On my index, I did kind of mess up because there's a little line where any didn't transfer. So I did apply a little bit more of the foil gel, and I'm going to continue adding all my foils. But once I finish, I'm going to cure that again and then reapply it, because I also had to do that for another nail. I don't think I showed it on camera, but I'm thinking it was my pinky. But I'm just going to go ahead and rub all of these in. I didn't use any silicone tool because with this foil glue, it's honestly not needed. As you see I'm doing here, I'm just using my finger and just making sure to really get in there and pull it off. All of my transfers was almost perfect, to be honest. My edges were kind of messed up a little bit, but for the most part they were pretty good to go. So once I finish adding on the foils, I do want to go over it with the top coat. And I did use top coat because in my first video where I tried it out, I did have like some of this stuff I end up putting into my aquarium nail. It was like sticking to like the acrylic I had underneath, so I don't want anything to be sticky. So I'm going over the entire base with a top coat, and this is a no wipe top coat. And so once I apply this and cure, nothing on top of it will be sticky. After curing the nails, this is how they are looking, and now it's time to get the top part of the nails. So of course I'm going to be using full cover nail tips as like my tank. And I did end up going with these extra long ones from 𝚙𝚚𝚘𝚘𝚍𝚘. This is my first time actually grabbing these to use. Like, I've had these for a while now, and this is my first time using them, and I feel like they will be perfect because I don't really have any full cover nail tips with such a high apex like this long. So these were just perfect. I'm so glad that I had these. And the way I'm going to do it is just pick out a nail that fits over the top of my nails. For some of them, I did decide to size up just to make sure that there's going to be room in the nail. So you see me just kind of testing that out here. Also, for some of them, the way these nails are, I feel like since the apex area is higher than the actual length of the nail, the way I'm gonna have to do it is just make sure that the cuticles are sealed in. And I know like the length of the actual nail kind of will be lifted a little bit, but I'll just go in and seal the sides in, if that makes sense. And you'll see what I mean about that in a few minutes whenever I start to like seal everything in and have them applied. Once I finish picking out the top parts of my tanks, that's what I'm gonna call them, my tanks. Once I finish picking them out, I am just gonna go in with some nude acrylic from Kiara Sky and just apply that to my nail bed area. The way I was going to do it, so I was gonna end up adding some charms over the entire part, like where my nail bed area is, but I wanted to be safe just in case it didn't turn out right. So I'm just adding on some nude acrylic to hide it just in case I wasn't able to add on charms, because if I couldn't add the charms and my nail beds was like still looking like this, then it would not look right. So I just wanted to play it safe and just go ahead and add some, just in case my plan didn't plan out. And it doesn't have to be neat either. I'm just putting it over my nail bed areas so my natural nail and the line from the foils doesn't show. So now it is time to actually apply the tanks on top of my nails. So I did end up deciding to use acrylic because for me, acrylic just works better than gel. The gel is just too sticky, and I don't think I have a non-wipe gel, so everything I would use, it would just end up being sticky anyway. So I'm just going to be using clear acrylic to add on my tanks. And to me, this was a lot faster as well. So you see me just putting a little bit of clear acrylic around the cuticle area and just a little bit down like by the side walls. And that is the only part I'm going to do first, because like I said, the apex is a lot bigger than the length of the nail, and I kind of want them to be lifted up, because if I just put them like straight on the nail, it wouldn't be room inside of the actual tip, if that makes sense. So you see the sides are not really connecting, and that is okay because I'm going to be sealing that in so it just looks like one like nail on the sides. I'm not sure if I'm making sense, but hopefully you can follow along with what I'm doing in the video. Right now I'm just focusing on like that cuticle area. Once I have it into that wet gel, I'm going to move on to the other one. So I'm not going to go like straight in and add more acrylic on the sides because I want to make sure that it is dry first. So I'm just going to go ahead and do all of them the same exact way, and then I'll go back down to my thumb and just start to seal it in on the sides. One of the problems I had, like I was mentioning, when I did my first video where I was just trying it on a practice finger, the product inside of the tank was like really sticky, so my glitter and everything was just like sticking to it. So I just wanted to make sure I gave them more than enough time to dry and to make sure I don't have that problem. So I'm just going to be adding on my acrylic around the cuticle and just adding on the full covered nail tips, and then once I finish we can go back to seal everything in. So this is what we are working with so far. I did go ahead and apply all of them. I kind of skipped my pinky because it got kind of repetitive, and I don't want you guys sitting here for that long just watching the same thing over and over again. So now we're back at the thumb, and I'm just going to be adding more acrylic at the cuticle area. You can kind of see like there's like this little space in between them. Even though they are pretty much sealed in, I wanted to make sure like there was like an overall barrier. So I'm going back over the cuticle area and the side walls just to make sure that everything was sealed in, and just to give it a more even look around the cuticle. So I'm gonna do that, and then also I'll go down on the sides and then start to fill everything in. So the tricky part to the sides is that you don't want the acrylic to be super thin to where it just goes inside of the tank, because then I won't have enough room to put in my like glitter and the things I'm going to be adding into it. So you want to make sure the bead of acrylic is like not too much. You don't want it to be super runny or super like thick, because then it'll just not seal it right. So you want to make sure the bead is kind of in between. But this part is not really hard at all. I actually enjoyed doing this part. I thought the process was going to take me so much longer, but it was actually very quick compared to what I thought it was going to be. And then also it was just like very fun to do these nails, because this is not something I typically do on my channel. This is the second time I've tried aquarium nails. I could say the first though, because in my trial and error video I don't feel like that really counts because it's not like an entire set. So this is basically my first time trying aquarium nails, and this was so much fun to do. So yeah, I don't want to just ramble on talking about the same thing, so I'm just gonna go ahead and let you guys just watch me. I'll speed it up just so it doesn't take super long. And so yeah, I really hope you guys are enjoying today's video. If you are, make sure to go ahead and give it a like and subscribe if you haven't already. I do notice a lot of my viewers are not subscribed, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and also leave a comment down below. So after sealing everything in, I did go ahead and skip my pinky again because like I said, it was getting kind of repetitive, but this is what we are working with so far. And for some reason, like, I just love how this looks, like how the color just stops midway on the longer nails. Like, for some reason, I don't know what it is, I love how this looks so much. And of course they won't stay like that. I am going to cut them down, but I do want to add everything in first before I cut them down. I feel like it would just be a lot easier that way, and I'll explain that once I get to it. But yeah, this is how the nails are looking so far. And I did just wait about 20 minutes because I wanted to make sure that these were completely dry and I didn't have any problems with the items sticking inside of it. So I just wanted to make sure there was no leakages and just wanted to make sure everything was completely dry. But now that I waited, I'm going to go ahead and take a hand file and just lightly file the sides. You will see I'm not going to be doing much filing at all. I just basically want to clean up the bumpiness from me sealing it in because some parts do have a little bit more acrylic than others, and I just want to straighten it out because once I add everything and cut off the longer part at the end, I just want everything to be like really nice and flush in a really like square shape. So I'm going to clean everything up. Once I finish doing all of my nails like this, I am going to take my e-file and file around the cuticles and also get underneath of what I can. Also making sure I'm really careful because I do not want to make any holes in this or like break any seals or anything. So I'm making sure to be really careful, and I'm just going to go ahead and finish this part out so we can start to add everything in our aquarium nails. So after I finished filing my nails around the cuticle area, you can see they look a lot more neater, like just how they look. So once I finish doing all of that, I'm gonna take my tip cutter and just cut them down a little bit, not the entire part. I want to leave a little bit on there so I have like a backboard, because I feel like if I'm having trouble getting the glitters in there, I can just flip my hands upside down, put it on the extra ledge part, and just tap it so it goes down into the nail. Like, having it as a backboard, it just really helps a lot. So I just went ahead and picked out some items I wanted to use on my nails. I didn't end up using all of them, but I did just want to go ahead and show you guys the main things I did pick out to use, which were the glitters and those little purple rocks. And I never use those whenever I get them, so I felt like it was just a great opportunity just to try to include them. And so I did end up doing 2 of my nails. A lot has happened. There's so much stuff over my nail area, and I'm gonna quickly fill you guys in. So with this first nail here, I went ahead and put everything inside of it. I did add a lot of these little rocks. I added some glitter, and then I went and put my cuticle oil in. And now that I sealed everything in and let it dry, the rocks are not moving. You can see the oil is moving at the tip, and this is the oil I used. And I felt like it was also a little thick, because once I went on to my second nail, I realized that. I just wanted to show you guys that I was using a different cuticle oil, but like no matter how I hit my thumbnail, it is just like the rocks are not moving. I feel like it was just too piled up in that area for the flow of the oil to get in there. And then for my index nail, you can see a lot more movement. I love how it looks. However, I end up adding less items in there, so you can't really see all of the like glitter and rocks moving. The only thing you see moving is the oils. And I also did change the oil. I feel like the one I was using before was just a little bit too thick, and the one from makartt is a lot flowier, so I did end up switching that, and I feel like it worked a lot better. And inside of my index nail, it is actually like half and half, because I didn't realize until I got like halfway done with it. So I end up adding some of the Madame Glam oil, and then half of it is the makartt oil. And so I just went ahead and took all of those out, because there was just so many mistakes. For half of it, I wasn't even in frame. So taking the things I did with the first 2 nails and just learning what's gonna make the rest of my nails better, I did go ahead and just try to include all of those into the next 3 nails. So for the rocks, the original pink purple rocks I had, they were just super huge, but I really would have loved if they looked right in the nails. I did continue to add them in there, just not as much as my thumb, because that was entirely too much. I did think I would have enough space for it though, but it was just not working. So I did end up pulling out these caviar beads from Not Polish, and I am going to be putting those in there. I did want something sort of like a rock look, and so that's why I went for that one. And so once I finished adding all of my stuff in there, I did try not to overcrowd it, but also just making sure there was enough in there. Once I finished putting all of that in, I added my cuticle oil. And as you guys saw, like the backboard part, like it just really makes everything a lot easier. I can just pour it on the ledge part and it'll just fall right down into that nail. So perfect. And so once I finish getting everything in there, my oils, I give it a little wipe so it's not so oily, and then I'll go and take a little bead of acrylic and just seal everything in. And the same thing with the sides, with like sealing everything in, that also applies. I wanted to make sure the bead wasn't super runny, otherwise it would just like go down into the nail, and also making sure it was not super thick. However, once I finished getting everything in there, I was so impatient to see if the nail was going to actually flow or not. Before my seal could completely dry, I shook my nail so hard that everything flew out of it, and it just went everywhere, on my walls, on my face. It was just like everywhere. So I ended up having to do that one again, and my sister was actually in here with me while I was filming today's video, and I was like, it was not working. So she suggested I put the oil in first, just so like the items isn't like stuck at the bottom part of the nail, because I was having troubles with that, like with my other 2. So once everything flew out of the nail, instead of putting the glitters and everything in there first, I did go ahead and put my oils in. And since it was at the bottom, the glitters and everything didn't have a chance to like go in those crevices and get stuck. So I felt like that was like a nice way of doing it. However, it was a lot harder to add the items in there, because since the oils was like all over the top part, my glitters was just like sticking to it, and it wouldn't go completely in the nail. So that is the only thing I had trouble with that. I feel like overall this was a very fun experience. And also I did just want to let you guys know that from my first video where I was just trying it, I did say that like when people are doing aquarium nails, they add too much oil. I was definitely wrong. I did go and watch Lisette's video. Like I did end up watching another one. I can't remember which one it was, but I did watch one before this video, and then I watched one after, because I was just like, what am I doing wrong? Like, why isn't mine turning out just like hers? The one I watched after I actually filmed this video, she mentioned how like the air bubbles do not help. She also mentioned how like these little iridescent glitters, they're super light, so they won't flow as much as like the other hard glitter pieces. I don't know what they are called, but I do have some of those pieces in like my glitters to the right, like the little cutout hearts, where they are a little bit harder than just regular plastic glitters. I'm not sure if I'm making sense, but you need those in there so that the weight of the item is a little bit more flowier and it has like weight to actually come up and down with the gravity of your nail. So after watching her video, I know that the glitters in there are not going to flow as much and how I want them to, and that is just because they have no weight basically. So when I try this again, I will keep that in mind. Like everything I'm learning and it is just not working, I will keep that in mind when I do my next aquarium nail set, because this was just so fun to do. I see why she has so many on her channel, because it is just so fun to do and make them different things. Yeah, I am having trouble putting my little glitters in there. I am using my tweezers to kind of poke them in there. And so once I finished, I did skip my thumb, like the sealing part. I did go ahead and let my seals dry. And now I'm going to be taking my nail tip cutters again and just cutting off all of that extra ledge part. And it does get a little tricky because the part where I sealed it in is just like super thick underneath the nail. So I do have to file it down a little bit, and so it doesn't have like that extra piece hanging off. But I did go ahead and do all of that off camera because I feel like I wouldn't have enough space on my phone to keep recording. So I did all of that off camera, and now you guys get to see me add on my bling. So like I was mentioning, I was going to add a lot of charms up at the top of my nail, but it didn't end up working out. So just like I was thinking, the nude part, it really helped out so it wouldn't look super plain and like naked underneath that part. So adding on that nude acrylic was definitely a nice way to save this design. Instead of adding the charms, I did decide on adding that little jewelry rope. So I'm going to be applying that, but I do want to add on my no wipe glossy top coat first, and then I'll be using my little squeeze on rhinestone glue from the Colorful July box, and then I'll be adding that right where you see the nude part meets and like the ombre foils underneath. And so yeah, that's basically how I'm going to dress up this design. I didn't want to add much because I didn't want to take away from like seeing the aquarium movement underneath. So I'm just going to be adding this, and once I get it on, I'm going to go ahead and cure. It was so hard trying to get this on there without moving because it kept sliding. So the first nail, I did go ahead and cure with the whole entire piece. But for the rest of my nails, it was easier to just go ahead and measure it and cut it out and then start to apply it, because once I get on like the rhinestone glue, it would just slip and slide everywhere. So that's how I'm going to finish out adding on this little bling rope onto my nails. And also, I do love this little squeeze bottle. You can really get the rhinestone glue in those precise areas. I did get one from Timo just like this, but for some reason it was like cured in the bottle and nothing would come out. So I'm so happy this was included. I really like it. And so I'm just gonna go ahead and let you guys finish watching me apply them. So once I rub on the cuticle oil, we are done with today's set, and this is how the nails turned out. Just an overall look of them, I think they look super cute. Like, I just love the ombre foils underneath. Like, even from afar, you probably wouldn't realize that these are aquarium nails and it has liquid and glitter inside of them. Like, from afar, I think they look so cute. I mean, up close too, but just looking at them, I think they look so cute. And so yeah, this is how like my liquid is. Like, I feel like there's not really enough movement in there. I don't know where I went wrong, even after trying like so many different techniques. And then I also tried not to get as many air bubbles in it. Like, when I was filling them up with the oil, I tried to fill it all the way to the top, but apparently it still wasn't enough. And I'm not sure why, because it was like filled to the top, but compared to my first like attempt with the other video, the air bubbles aren't as big, but you can still see movement inside of it. These are a lot better than the first try. Like, when you are watching a video on these, especially with me watching Lisette's video, I was just like, I just know I'm gonna do so good with these. They're gonna come out so great. But when you're watching it and when you actually do it, it is just so different. And what I mean by mine's not turning out great like hers, it's just the movement inside of it. When you are doing aquarium nails, I feel like that is just like the main thing you want to focus on, because like the look of them, I feel like they aren't bulky. The shape of them are so nice. Like, everything else I feel like I did a really good job on. It was just the insides, like trying to get them to move. So I did have to kind of manipulate them a little bit, tapping on them, shake them a little bit, and my thumbs start to recover a little bit, which I was so surprised on, because with that one there was like so many of those purple rocks like stuck in one place. So I was happy when that one started to move. And also my middle finger, you can see the little caviar beads, or like the sprinkle on glitters from Not Polish. You can see those start to move as well. And it's not like I'm not getting movement at all. I am getting movement, but I do have to like tap them a lot. I have to shake them or just move them a lot to get like the stuff moving, which I feel like I shouldn't have to do. I just want them to be like really flowy and just move whenever I change position of my hand, so that I won't have to work on. But yeah, overall I think I did a pretty good job, and I am down to try this again. So yeah, just know that another video is coming, and I do have my sister here just helping me tap on the nails, because she's my little assistant when it comes to my nail stuff. But yeah, I think I did a pretty good job. This was very fun to do. Let me know if you saw any mistakes I made, or as to why mine didn't turn out like hers, because I'm always looking for ways to better myself, and especially with this design, I feel like it is so hard to master. So whatever helps me get better, I am down to try it out. So yeah, that basically concludes today's video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it, and I want to say thanks for watching. Let me know what you guys thought, and as always, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.